It's summoning, not conjuring.
Is there a difference?
Yes. You can't make something out of nothing.
Her tone implied this was obvious.
That's not how magic works.
He stared at her. Wasn't that exactly how magic worked? She sighed and sat at the table, motioning him to join her.
I suppose the distinction has been lost over time. Observe.
She stretched out a hand, and a wooden spoon flew off the wall into her palm.
That's telekinesis. I am magically moving something.
She set the spoon on the table and raised her hand. Flames erupted in her palm.
That's conjuring. Shields too. Well, I'm not sure exactly how to describe it. Conjuring creates something, but it's not solid. Not in the traditional sense. It's more like playing with energy.
She tilted her hand back and forth. The flames curled into a ball and rolled with the motion.
Much of elemental magic is conjuring. The spells you use in dueling, those are mostly conjuring or telekinesis. Understand?
I believe so. And summoning? She snapped her hand shut, and the flames disappeared.
Summoning is different from conjuring. You cannot conjure a thing. The physical substance has to come from somewhere. When you say you are conjuring food, what you are really doing is summoning food across space to you.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that when I summon bread, I'm stealing it off someone else's plate?
Probably.
He laughed, longer and harder than he'd laughed in a long time. Oh, he could have fun with that. How much control did one have over the origin? He'd have to learn the favorite dishes of people who irritated him.
Yes, well, you see the difference now. The distinction matters because you have to visualize exactly what you want. If you are too vague, you may end up with something half-eaten, undercooked, poisoned, yes, poisoned, or otherwise contaminated. You have no control over where your food is coming from, so be specific.
The thought was concerning, given how frequently he used the spell. Bread wasn't usually enough to live on long term, not unless it contained other things baked in, as Nikolai's did, but it was enough to keep Haven alive during the Great Famine. Most people could only summon one type of bread. Even if the collective hadn't put limitations on how often the spell could be cast, the monotony alone meant people didn't use it more than necessary. Is there a range on the spell? Like a limit to how far away the food can be?
Not to my knowledge, but there have been times when a summoning has failed to work. In my case, it's usually been a side effect of living so long. Plants that were once common are either no longer cultivated or go extinct.
She sighed.
One of my favorite teas vanished like that. Dishes may be lost forever when a civilization is wiped out.
A chipped plate drifted from the shelf and landed in front of Nikolai with a gentle tinkle.
Show me what you can do. Remember to concentrate on exactly what you want.
He stared at the empty plate. Food had been heavily rationed when he was growing up. What would he have eaten then if he could have had anything? He pulled out his wand. Panem! A stale loaf of rye appeared on his plate, a far cry from his usual fare, let alone what he was trying to summon. The corner of Medea's mouth twitched into a half-smile.
And that is why I require my students learn Latin.
That's not what I was going for.
I imagine it wasn't. But your mind said one thing and your lips said another. Your incantation called for bread. Try again without the wand and words.
I can't do it without the wand. She made a dismissive noise.
Yes, you can. But we will tackle wands tomorrow. For now, you may use the wand. Do not say the incantation and think only of what you want on the plate.
10 minutes later, he slammed his fist on the table, rattling the empty plate.
Now,
said Medea, stilling the plate.
What are you trying to summon?
Beef stroganoff.